Like when you have a piglet die, or when you walk into your greenhouse and all your cauliflower is frozen, you know, that you babied for 6 months.
Middle of the day and there's still ice from yesterday. Here's my soaked chunks of wood. I soak my wood so it lasts a little bit longer when I throw it on the fire for slow smoking stuff. I don't think I'm going to be using any of that. It's a good sign. There's a little bit of water coming out. Okay, I'll just let that melt in the sun. Maybe I can get a couple of those pieces out. Good morning, beautiful people. It is a beautiful sunny morning. It's actually, we're closer to afternoon now. Today, I'm getting some bacon on the smoker. I'm gonna do some cold smoking. Cold smoking has really been the way that we have enjoyed our bacon. I've tried hot smoked. I think I like the smokiness of cold smoked on actual wood. So while this fire kind of dies down, I'm gonna go over here and grab my bacon out of the fridge. And by then, hopefully the fire's died down enough, I can start feeding it chunks of wood, and then we will throw everything on there and start cold smoking. So the thing that I've come to find that is like a reality is when you are trying to produce as much of your own food as possible, it's a lot of work. Just making things like bacon, you know, I think, I know I took bacon for granted until I started making bacon myself. It's a lot of work, you know, from processing the animal to curing the bacon, to smoking the bacon, to slicing the bacon, and ultimately packaging it, and then getting it out of the freezer when you want to eat it. Actually, while I'm in here, I can talk about something else, because I know people will be curious. All right, so this is our shed fridge. I know this is not bacon, but I am currently in the middle of dealing with this at the moment. This is a prosciutto that we are in the process of curing. Basically what we do with this this raw leg, this fresh leg off of a pig, we're going through the salting process where the salt dries out moisture. It'll spend about a month, depending on how heavy it is. It'll spend about a month in here in the fridge while it's curing. And then once it's done curing...
This is a prosciutto.
Yes, that is right, sister.
We eat prosciutto.
We do eat prosciuttos.
They're delicious.
They are delicious. So once this one is done curing, we'll then hang it up and...
we have one in the house that we're eating.
We do have one in the house that we're eating.
We're finishing it off.
Basically, we are in the curing stage, and so I have my measured out salt right here, and every day I come out here and I sprinkle salt on any of the spots that look like they need a little bit more salt, just a little bit, and then it goes back in the fridge.
Water. I'm gonna salt.
You want a salt? Here, you can come around. That didn't really have anything to do with grabbing the bacon out of here, but you can see this is all the bacon that needs to go in the smoker, and then we have various other cured meats. I've got a copa, and I think there's a lonsa in here. Various cured meats. Okay, bacon. The rest of this is just stuff that we are gonna dry cure like that. That's a copa. We are experimenting with various flavors, making our own recipes, if you will, of things for our cured meats. But like I said, it's a lot of work and a lot of time too. All right, this is actually bacon that we forgot we had in the fridge. The nice thing about when it's on cure, once the bacon is on cure, doing our equilibrium method, you can leave it on cure almost indefinitely. So this one is actually from our second pig class. And it's been on cure for almost 2 months. So we leave the skin on. So when we put the bacon in the nice, you know, grungy smoker, I'm not worried about getting all that black grunginess all over the meat. It's gonna be tight. Put that one back there. I may be able to fit them all in here. There we go. Got them all in. Really want that one to lay flat. So I guess I'm gonna dirty up my hands. Lay flat, bacon. Lay flat. That was all crunched up. I'm gonna knock this fire down so it's not so hot because I don't want that to get up to like 200 degrees. I actually would prefer that all it does is just smolder and smoke. So I'm just gonna get in here with the fire poker, knock the fire down, throw hopefully one of these frozen chunks of wood on there and just get some more smoke. There's one.
Now it's extra wet wood.
That's all right. Okay, I'm gonna go throw away all my plastic vacuum bags and wash my hands, and then we just wait. All right, this bacon has been on the smoker for 2 hours, something like that. Every time I walk by, I throw a chunk of wood on it. I've actually let the fire go out twice, and that's fine. Cold smoking, you really don't want to get above really 90 degrees, and this thermometer's showing it's just over, maybe right at 100. A little bit hot, but it's still fine. So I'm gonna throw some more little sticks on it. Really, you just want smoke if you're cold smoking. Now, people are gonna be like, why don't you build a smokehouse? It's on the list of things to do. We will eventually build a smokehouse of some kind, but for right now, a cobbled together pile of bricks pushing the smoke inside of my smoker right here is working great, and it makes some really good bacon. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm just gonna roll with this until I build something more permanent. Yeah, I'll just put that on. You can see how just completely small that fire is, and that's actually probably too big. As far as I'm concerned, as long as there's smoke coming out that chimney, the more the better is what I like, but I need to shore up some holes in this to really get it to go. But you see I added some pieces of wood and it's starting to smoke more. That's what I want. On the note of producing your own food and how it can be a lot of work, we're gonna walk down here and we're gonna pick some broccoli. Yeah. If there is any broccoli after single digits.
Yeah, I hope so.
I see a Millie cat inside the greenhouse. See, she's smarter than the rest of us. She knows where it's nice and warm. Wow, it is really warm in here.
It smells like brassicas.
It smells like brassicas. So we got down to single digits, and it was 8 degrees inside this greenhouse.
Yes.
I guess I can show you the carnage. So we had some cauliflower that was doing pretty good, and it turned to mush. Broccoli is actually doing all right.
Yeah, this one got burned.
Yeah, that one got burned.
So, but there's some florets on the edge that we can grab. There's a cabbage in there. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's a cabbage over there. There's some cabbage. The back row's cabbage. But yeah, we have some broccoli that is doing great. Cauliflower's toast. A couple of the cabbages are doing all right. That arugula that took off really got it pretty hard. Let's see. I hadn't looked at like the Swiss chard. So we've just kind of let this, the Swiss chard we saved seed from. And so there's like 10 million seeds that got dropped in here.
It saved its own seeds.
It did save its own seeds. And so... yeah, we're just letting it do its thing in here, and honestly, it's pretty cool because we have more Swiss chard than we can eat. It smells like rotting brassicas in here. If you've ever smelled that, forgotten a cabbage or something in the back of your fridge, and then you open the drawer and you smell it, it's quite a smell.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna pick some of this for dinner, so I'm gonna get this really nice head right here. So obviously, it would be a lot easier to just go to the grocery store and buy broccoli that, you know, we don't have to babysit and worry about freezing and all that stuff. And this was a lot of work. I mean, you had to prep these beds, and we actually bought these as starts. So I actually went about an hour away to a greenhouse and bought the starts. and then we had to baby the starts for a little bit because you weren't quite ready yet. And then, you know, we're like watering and we're planting, and then stuff like this happens. You know, we lose them to uber temperatures that we weren't necessarily expecting.
Look, could I carry the baby?
Sure, you can carry the baby one. I mean, it is a lot of work. It's a lot more work than going to the grocery store and, you know, just buying broccoli. But this has such a better taste.
Oh man.
Than any of the broccoli I've ever bought at a grocery store. Honestly, even more so than stuff I bought at farmers markets too. And I mean, we've bought some really good veggies at farmers markets.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it's because it's homegrown, because it's ours, and it's like, hey, we're really proud of this. Look at this broccoli we grew.
Aside from tasting really, really good, and that's something we've noticed, everything we've grown in this dirt here seems to be really sweet, but the satisfaction from growing your own stuff, I mean, aside from, it's just like everybody says, it starts with a tomato. If you grow your own tomatoes, it's almost a bad thing because you ruin tomatoes and you will never be able to go back to store-bought tomatoes. That's kind of been our experience here with growing vegetables. The more we've grown, the more we have ruined ourselves on vegetables.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Now, mind you, it would be easier to just go to the store and, hey, I know I have a grocery list. I'm gonna buy, you know, a head of broccoli,
right,
head of lettuce, head of cabbage, call it a day, you know, that kind of mentality. But planning ahead, by the time we got these starts and I was, you know, needing to prep these beds, we were so burned out on garden.
We totally
By the end of summer, it's like, I am so tired of the garden, let it all die, let's bring on winter. Oh, hold on, I have to make a couple more beds and then get all these starts in the ground, because I know in January, we're gonna be craving something green. And so, yeah, kind of hard work then, and kind of sucking it up.
Right.
Makes it so now that we both want green stuff,
yes, right,
we actually have it.
Yeah, and it's a labor of love, but it's been so worth it and so good. And like today, you know, we were traveling home, and I haven't made my menu plan for the week yet, and I was like, well, what are we gonna have for dinner tonight? And I was like, oh, you know what, we have broccoli in the greenhouse that we need to eat, so let's do that. And what's nice is, like, I don't have to travel to the grocery store to go get my broccoli. I just walk down here, and thankfully it didn't freeze to death. So now we have broccoli. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's been awesome.
It's kind of a hassle sometimes, but it's still really cool.
Yeah.
Those are really beautiful broccoli.
They look great.
Before dinner and after picking some broccoli, it is the time of the afternoon that we must drink the coffee.
Yes,
And have at least 30 minutes of adult time.
Yeah, so we used to do this, and then the last couple of years, like, you know, you just kind of fall out of the pattern. And we realized over the past, probably 6 months or so, that we were missing something really critical to, like, our relationship. And it was like, oh, you know what, we used to do coffee time. And I say kick out the kids, but, like, they know, like, if mom and dad are having their coffee time, then they gotta go find something to do. They don't interrupt. They don't bother us.
Instead of sitting in here and showering us with questions.
Right, all that stuff.
It's like, it's really hard to have a conversation. You know, a lot of people get to go on dates. We don't really go on dates anymore.
We don't.
So if we have coffee time, that's our little mini date throughout the day. It's really nice to be able to, like, connect.
Yeah.
And just have a one-on-one throughout the day. And honestly, over a cup of coffee is when we do the best scheming.
Yes, it is.
Planning. Like, we've always done our best scheming and planning over a cup of coffee.
Sitting around drinking a cup of coffee, yeah.
So we have instituted
coffee time.
Coffee time again. Try to maintain this as long as we can.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah.
It's good for us, and it's just good. It's really good.
So we're gonna sit down and drink some coffee and do some scheming. No, tripod, don't fall over.
No.
What is that?
Rice.
Okay, I'll make it.
Hold on. No, you don't have to make it flat. That's okay. Like, pretty much clean already. Just
I saw one caterpillar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was one caterpillar. This one, yeah, this had
some damage
Cross
on it.
damage.
That's really not bad, all things considering.
No, I
See
mean-
how bad the cauliflower
Yeah.
got fried.
Looking at the cauliflower was pretty sad.
Growing our own food, harvesting our own food, preparing our own food, all of it. It's a lot of work. So why do we do it?
Well, okay, so tonight, for example, I'm making rice and pot stickers that we made over the holidays and broccoli. I could just go to the Chinese food restaurant and get all this stuff. And it would be good and we'd be happy for it. But where we are at in our life right now, we have never felt better physically. Mentally, it has been so good for you in particular to be out with your hands in the dirt, doing what you're doing, taking care of your animals every day. I love what I do, cooking from scratch. It's a lot of work. And there are some days where I'm like, I just want to go get fast food. And sometimes we do. I mean,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. We really do sometimes. But it is just, it's so good for us mentally and physically and financially, because let's be honest, going and getting fast food on a regular basis for 7 people is not cheap.
It's quite expensive.
It's really expensive. And it's just been, I think we're the happiest now than we've ever been in our lives, doing what we're doing, putting the work in. It is a lot of work up front, but we had this conversation a lot, where if you're not putting the work in physically here doing this, you're still putting the same amount of work in at your job to get
the money to buy this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do still spend money. We got to feed our animals, and you got to buy seeds and compost and all those things.
Yeah. Feed is very expensive. And so it's like you said a minute ago, if you don't want to do the hard work of growing your food and preparing your food, then you're going to have to work extra hours to pay for the food that you're going to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life.
It is. I mean, we all have to pay, right?
Yeah, we all have to put the work in somewhere.
Yeah.
So to eat the way we eat, there's a lot of hard work. If we were going to eat this way, but,
purchase all
of it, it would be a bunch of hard work.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of hours.
The saying, it all comes out in the wash. That's kind of been our experience. The difference is, rather than me spending all of my time in a machine shop somewhere, I get to spend it out here. I get to spend it with my family. I get to play in the dirt. I get to do all this stuff. And, over winter, I put all the animals in the freezer.
That's right, yeah.
We have found it is so much more rewarding
Yes.
to do it this way than slave away over here in a shop and then come home and go shopping and, still eat good.
Right.
But I'm never home to enjoy everything else.
Yeah.
I think that's something that doing all this has taught me. I think once upon a time, before we got into homesteading, I thought it was going to be all sunshine and roses. There are a lot of days where it is hard. You don't want to go out and get in the mud, but you just keep doing it.
Everybody's got to choose their hard. And for some people, working every day in the shop really fulfills them. And that is great. And you did have fulfillment in a lot of ways.
It did once upon a time.
It did. And that, we're not trying to downplay, people being fulfilled going to work. That's awesome. If that's what, floats your boat and really fulfills you, and you're whatever, I'll just buy chicken at the store. That's totally cool. But for us, since we've moved out here, and for those of you who have been with us for a really long time, our deep backstory, and it's a painful backstory, and it's been a rough road getting to where we are now. And for us, because of that backstory, putting all the work in, the physical work of what we're doing to grow our own food and do what we're doing. And like I said earlier, it's been so good for you mentally, and it's been so good for us as a family. It makes all that work so worth it. So much more worth it than when you were in a shop. I guess the point we're trying to make is just encourage people, if you're really wanting to do this homestead, you're really wanting to do this homestead life because that's what floats your boat. And you're I don't feel fulfilled in my job, or doing whatever you're doing, you're gonna have to put in a lot of work. It's the point is the work doesn't stop. It's not an easy life. You don't just come home and throw some hay at the cows and throw some feed at the pigs and put some broccoli in the ground. It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
But for us, if that's truly what lights your soul on fire, which it has for us, it's worth
the hassle.
It's worth the hassle, and it's worth the heartbreak, when you have a piglet die, or when you walk into your greenhouse and all your cauliflower is frozen, that you babied for 6 months, or, all these things. It's it's been worth every minute of it, and it's just been so good. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's hard to cook from scratch. Even if you're not homesteading, like just cooking from scratch itself is a lot. But it's just been so soul rewarding and fulfilling.
Yep.
To do what we've been doing the last couple of years, and I guess just in the long run, we just really wanted to encourage people that if that's what you're looking for and that's like your missing link, then go do the hard work. Weed the garden, haul the hay, drag hoses across your yard.
Walk through the mud.
Walk through the mud, like all that stuff. It's a good life.
Yeah, I think you said it better than I could say it. I'm having a hard time like saying what I want to say.
Yeah.
Meg just said it. That's usually I try to let her do the talking because she says it better than I do.
Sometimes. So anyways, now that we've been like horribly sappy. So tonight for dinner, we're doing the rice. We've got the broccoli. I'm going to stir fry this with some garlic, just our garlic that we picked last year. And then we made dumplings. This is another one of those like long-term, like hard work kind of things. More like tedious work. So over the holidays, we made a bunch of dumplings. So all of the pork that we've grown throughout the year, I seasoned it up, and we all sat here and we had a
dumpling party.
A dumpling party, a pot sticker party.
Now,
so
they're kind of ugly,
whatever.
But I mean, they taste really good. So
good.
Don't judge.
So this is how like we get around that fast food like craving. Is we just do this. We make like a big batch stuff so that we can. When I'm like, I really want Chinese food, let's go get Chinese food. No, it's already in the freezer, it's okay. So yeah, rice, broccoli, dumplings.
Nice easy meal.
Yep. So I have found the trick with these is to get them in the oil and then let them get browned on the bottom before you put water in to steam them, because they stick if you don't let them brown on the bottom. Brett!
Who's that? That's not Brett.
Oh, it's not Brett. This child bought those glasses with his own money because he thought it would be hilarious.
Nice disguise.
I can lurk in every shot in the background.
Okay.
Oh, so that's the Easter egg, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
So just watch in the background while we're filming and spot Groucho Marx.
There's no reason.
There's no reason. Just
There's no story.
That's Brett.
There we go.
That's dramatic.
It is dramatic. Oh. That
Ooh,
smells good.
that smells really good.
That smells really good. Oh, yum. There we go. 160. That's more like it.
Last batch coming out of the pan. And it doesn't look like you figured it out. You figured out how to do this.
These ones are a little stickier because I didn't clean my pan out in between, but and then I let them burn a little bit more. But.
That's all right. I like them crispy on the bottom.
We're ready.
We ready?
Yeah,
all right.
We're ready. It's fine.
All right. So steamed rice and
Broccoli.
steamed broccoli.
Yep.
We got the sauce coming. We got some coconut aminos. I almost said amigos. That's what I call it. I call it coconut amigos, but it's aminos. We got some shoyu, good old standby, some sriracha. We do all this talking about, growing your own food and doing all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, and here's the sauces that we buy.
Well, I mean, I don't plan on making coconut aminos anytime soon.
We don't plan on making soy sauce.
No.
Dinner was fabulous.
So good.
Out of that giant plate of all of those dumplings, we have 5 left. Soon to be none.
Yeah, those are gonna
They are. They start disappearing as people get up from the table. It's like, oh,
One
I
more.
can have more.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing before we're done. There's actually not a whole lot of light out there right now, so grab the big flashlight. Yes, definitely needs a lot more smoke. So, all right, while I was in there filming dinner, my fire went out, and it's okay. Tonight it's supposed to be a little bit below 30, so chances are this bacon will freeze. Nothing's going to get to it in here, so I can actually leave this bacon out here in the smoker. I will fire this back up one more time. I'll get it running one more time before bed, and then I can just let it cruise all night. It'll just sit in there, and then first thing in the morning I can come out here, fire it up. Because it's gonna be cold in here, if you think about it, the refrigerator's only set to 40. I will pick this bacon back up in the morning, continue smoking it. I really like to smoke the bacon all day long. Just a couple hours is not enough smoke for my taste. I'm gonna try to get about 12 hours of smoke, probably tomorrow afternoon. I'll pull it off and I'll put it in the freezer to get it nice and cold so I can slice it Wednesday or Thursday, whenever I get to it. All right.
Was Millie rubbing?
Yeah, Millie was rubbing. All right, it is actually podcast night.
Yep.
We're gonna get the table cleared off, and I'm gonna sit down and do our podcast tonight. If you haven't heard, me, Jason from Sow the Land, and Alumna Acres, we have a podcast. Homestead Shop Talk is what it's called. Go check it out. It's really, we just basically get on a call and we just chat it up.
Yep.
It's pretty fun. So that's gonna do it for us for today. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.